Cover only a tiny portion of the Earth's surface, but they contain more than half its plant and animal species. Rainforests are also extremely rich and productive living systems, providing us with oxygen, food, medicines, and other elements essential to our lives. In the desert, nature has arrived. Plants and animals that have learned to survive in these harsh conditions make use of what little water they can find and avoid the scorching rays of the relentless sun of this land. Even the hooves of the mighty buffalo helped create the rich soil that would one day become home to the American farm. Of all the forces at work on the land, humans have had one of the most profound effects. The need to produce food for a growing world led to the enormous use, and sometimes overuse, of the land. In our search for more efficient ways to grow food, we often fail to realize the impact of our...
The first greenhouse we're approaching now is a tropical one. Some of the world's most important foods come from the plants you'll be seeing here in our greenhouses today. Research technique here is called intercropping, 2 or more crops planted in the same space. Papaya fruits on your left side are a tasty tropical fruit, but also the green skins of the papayas is useful to make and papin made into a meat tenderizer. Now, as you look around the greenhouse, you'll notice the plants are growing in sand. This is sterilized sand, one of the new ways to preserve our natural resources to grow crops in. Now, as long as the plants receive water and nutrients, and we do that by drip irrigation, they can grow pretty well in it. The terraces on your right side we have is peanuts and rice planted side by side. Peanuts are planted first because it leaves behind nitrogen, then the rice is planted afterwards, or any other crop actually. This growing technique is called crop rotation. Next we have is sugar cane. Every cane produces about 30 teaspoons of sugar. To your left side, peach palm trees, which is native to Costa Rica, very sharp needle-like thorns on it. But you see the fruits there in the center. It's one of the most nutritious fruits tropical regions has to offer. And if you like tapioca, the cassava plants, here's where your tapioca is from. And surrounding us, the greenhouse is also is bananas. Not only a snack food, but a main food source for most parts of the world, which is high in potassium. It's not a tree, it's a plant because it only produces one batch once, that's it. After it's harvested, it needs to be cut down to fish. It's mostly popular like in South American countries. Second tank on your right, first tank on your left is tilapia. For every 1.5 pounds of food, it needs to gain a pound, and it's really good for making fillets out of. Second tank on your left is channel catfish, and on your right side, American alligators. In Florida's lakes and Everglades, there's over 1 million of them. These alligators are no longer endangered species. These alligators are about 5 to 6 feet long in length. When you get full grown, they're pretty much 10, 15, 18 feet or more. Here in these tanks, we got American minnows, the middle tanks, freshwater shrimp on the bottom tanks, and red cod. They put a few in each tank since they tend to fight over their space, and they sometimes eat one another if we overcrowd them. Coming up over here, straight ahead is our citrus trees. We have oranges, tangerines, and lemons. These lemons are a Ponderosa variety. They can weigh as much as 9 pounds. Next to it is pomelos, a grandfather to grapefruits. Cotton plants on your right and left side take 3 months to flower. But after the flower falls off or bud forms, it takes about 2 months after they'll have cotton. The trees on your left side are Lysenia trees. They're good for using as firewood, mainly because it burns longer and doesn't smoke as much as other woods do. Coming up next to our production greenhouse, we're saving valuable space by growing all the cucumbers. Also, it makes it easier to harvest the cucumbers when they're ready because we can know which ones to pick. On the bottom of them, you see the black hoses. That's the drip irrigation. It sends them when the plants need water and it waters them. Vine plant on your right side is Malabar. It grows over 15 feet tall. The leaves taste like spinach and the berries from them are used as dyes. See the tank of water underneath with the air bubbles blowing in the hose. While on your opposite side, the lettuces are floating on the water by these styrofoam panels. And the air hose, the air bubbles actually gives the oxygen to the roots. Now, 35% of the world's crops are destroyed by insects each year, and through genetic engineering, plants like these now carry genetic genes that are poisonous to insects that eat the plant. This is one way to reduce the usage of pesticides by up to 60%. We still haven't completed about 40%. We still have to use the pesticides. Now on your left side, our robot over here has a camera lens to it. Through a spectrometer, thermal, infrared sensor, it's measuring the stress level on plants and how sunlight affects it. It can tell by the color changes in its foliage. If there is any, adding some nutrients can help the plants in recovery. Coming up next to our creative greenhouse on your left and right side, these lettuces get 36 plants in each one. The root system grows inside it. It just rotates under a sprayer where it gets water and nutrients and it filters through, drains out the bottom. Squashes rotate around the wall bin where water and nutrients are missed on the roots, allowing for a stronger, healthier root system by having air exposure to them, again called aeroponics. To your right is a biotechnology lab. Research is being done on genetic engineering. To your left, flavor-saver potatoes and sweet corn. Better tasting crop that has longer shelf space, product of biotechnology. And finally, on your right and left side as we exit the NASA, they're experimenting to grow crops for future space colonies by recycling air and water from waste products. Well, as you can see, there's lots to cover. There's also a lot to know about nature and science. We live in the land, laboratories just